like to take out reviews every once in a while. I do a bunch of just random shit on there. And every so often I like to do reviews of movies and TV shows. I did episodic reviews for WandaVision when that came out. I did a whole review for Falcon and Winter Soldier, specifically I guess not just, I guess I've only done MCU stuff, but I just like talking about like movies in general. I really enjoy movies. But yeah, those are the only ones that have actually ended up in my channel thus far. I think there's one there for Shang-Chi. Yeah, I did one for Shang-Chi, which I very much like, man. I can't wait till it comes out on Disney Plus so I can watch it again. Been watching the What If series, the latest Disney Plus Marvel MCU series, the animated one. For the most part, I'd say that I enjoyed it, and so I want to talk about that. But I thought instead of doing just a typical like normal review, I thought I could do a tier list and just put the episodes in ranking, and at the same time just go talk about each episode, what I like about each one, what I don't like about them. And yeah, I just thought it'd be a different way to do the same thing, right? To talk about the show. So yeah, let's do it. All right, moment of truth. So we're gonna be ranking the episodes of Marvel's What If series. Now, I feel like this works particularly well for this because it is kind of an anthology style. They did kind of all come to a culmination at the end. Yeah, for the most part, I feel like we'll be able to rank each one separately on the same scale. So we'll be going in order. So we'll start with episode 1, the Captain Carter episode. Now, this episode, I feel like it was very glad to have you back, Lame. I feel like this episode was very vanilla. It was very very by the books, right? It was pretty much the first Captain America movie, just swapped out like a couple of details. Well, I mean, the fact that it's not Steve Rogers, it's Peggy that gets the super soldier serum, and then Steve ends up flying around in a giant metal armor suit, right? But other than that, it followed the same exact beats, right? The part where the person gets injected with the super soldier serum, then the missions that they go on, then the fact that they have to, Red Skull is there going after the potion or magical whatchamacallit, I forgot, I don't even know. Going into this series, right, this being the very first episode out, going into this, I think the idea, what I got behind it, or my thought about it, was that D tier. Yeah, my thought about it was that it was going to be kind of very outlandish, right? Just explore situations that were completely crazy and stuff that you would never expect, right? So this episode basically following essentially the same beats as the Captain America movie. It was a bit of a letdown. Granted, I understand since it was the first one, it was I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe it could have turned people off. I feel maybe they put it as the first one to kind of ease people into the idea of what they're doing with the show, which makes sense. But yeah, so at the end of the day, it's gonna be, I'm gonna put it at the, we'll see if we can adjust as we go along, but yeah, I'm putting it at C for now. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be the lowest out of all of them, that's for sure. So episode 2, we got T'Challa as Star-Lord. So this one was very much out there, right? This one was very different from the first episode in that it deviated a lot from what was seen in the movies, right? Not only the fact that Star-Lord was a completely different character, but also the way in which that character was, I guess, interacted with everyone else, in that that universe, right? Compared to like what we saw in the movie, right? With the first episode, whether it was Steve or whether it was Peggy, Captain America was Captain America, right? Or I guess Captain Britain, whatever. But the second one, it took Star-Lord from being kind of like a chump and being laughed on, as we saw in the first Guardians movie, and it actually made him like respected. It actually made him like a big deal and cool. He seemed cool, right? So that was a complete like 180. So that was already, this was essentially like what I was looking for in regards to like this series, right? So that alone was really cool. I found it really cool, like the fact that Thanos was in his crew. I definitely didn't expect that at all, for Thanos like to be in there and to be cool with them and just like hanging out with the crew, and still like giving like these like slight remarks towards these little like coy like backhanded remarks to like, you know, like genocide. I'm over it. I'm not gonna do it, but it's not the worst thing that could happen. So that was kind of weird, but kind of funny at the same time. I liked it. A lot of people thought it was weird that Thanos was powered down. I don't think he was powered down. I think he was just fine. He was fighting two of the Black Order members at the same time. Like those guys are strong. Like, I mean, he was on his own, 2 against 1. Like, sheesh, what do you want? He didn't have any of the Infinity Stones. What else? I like Nebula. I like Nebula a lot too. Like that little nickname that she gave T'Challa, Cha-Cha. That was cool. I feel like it was just, that was something that was like extremely different as well. Her character, the Collector as well, just completely out there, right? The way he was all jacked up and basically, and the main villain that they had to fight at the end. It was great. It was just cool overall. And exactly what I was expecting. So I'm putting it up there. I'm putting it S rank. All right, episode 3. Oh, what if the Avengers got killed? Right. So, man, I'm not even sure what to say about this. I think I liked it when I saw it. I think it was just okay, but I can't think why it was just okay. It was pretty grim, right? And okay, here's something I'm just gonna throw out there. Starting from this episode, a lot of these episodes were like pretty grim. Yeah. Like the next 3 episodes, I feel like they should have done a better, like, I feel like as far as like the order of the episodes, they kind of should have handled it, ordered it in a way where you got like one kind of like fun episode and then like a bummer episode and then a fun episode and then a bummer episode. Cause like this, we got like Captain Carter, which was normal, right? The T'Challa Star-Lord was a fun episode, I'd say. And then this episode, the next episode, which is Doctor Strange, the zombie episode afterwards, all those episodes, and I guess to like some extent the following one where Killmonger kind of just like takes over everything. All of those episodes were pretty downers, man. It was kind of like I was starting to think like, well, like what is this series even? It's just like, it's What If, but it's just giving us like the most like depressing like what if like everything was just like messed up, you know? I was expecting like lighthearted, like fun, like zany, like kooky stuff that you wouldn't expect. But yeah, a lot of these were just like straight up depressing. Anyway, going back to episode 3, this kind of this episode started that trend, right, with the idea that like all the Avengers were killed off. I found it most brutal, like the way that Hulk was done in, because Hulk is especially a character that you usually never see like Hulk go down, right? It's very like rare that Hulk gets killed off, whether it be in the comics, movies, video game, whatever. But yeah, the Hulk is like one of those characters that's just always kicking, right? And as hard as you try to take him down, he just comes back that much harder, right? And the fact that the way they showed him, like done in with by being exploded, that was, yeah, that was very much not expecting that, but it made sense. I guess it was like, if you're gonna like do Hulk in, like it's gotta be like that, right? um I'm trying to think like what I thought about the reveal that it was Hank Pym. um I'll say this. For Hank Pym, right, as a character's being depicted as being like a very like, I'd say like on the level of like a genius, right? The way he's like come up with this technology, the Pym tech. Um, for him, being depicted as such a bright mind, it seems almost like a little hard to believe that he would go in on the Avengers like this, because it's, blaming the death of Hope on Fury and Shield and everything that he's working on. Granted, grief is a thing, right? Grief is a powerful thing that can make, even, I guess, the smartest people do stupid things. But, just him being depicted the way that he has been all, up to this point in the MCU, kind of made it a little bit of a hard pill to swallow for me. I also liked seeing like Nick Fury have more of like a very much more like hands-on role with something in Marvel, right? For a lot of like, as far as like the MCU stuff, the movies, he has been very much just like the planner, right? The one who kind of like brings the crew together, and they're the ones that do all the work, all the action. And so I kind of like that in this episode, that he was very much more hands-on, that he actually like got that fight scene at the end, even though at the end it wasn't actually him, right? But it was cool nonetheless. Overall, okay, kind of weird, but not bad. I'll give it a B. Let's give it a B. All right, next, the Doctor Strange episode. Okay, now this one was really sad. This one really leaned into like the depressing side of things. Yeah, that was just the concept, right? Just him having to relive that moment in which he loses Christine over and over again, nonstop, hoping that things will end up differently, but it just never does. It's so depressing. And then just seeing him like fall to the depths in which he fell, in order to change that outcome. Yeah, it was just all, and the fact that the evil, right, Doctor Strange won out over the sane, the good, normal one. And then in the very end, it was that he got, he, in order, the only way to deal with him was just, oh no, wait, there was no, he did that to himself. That's right. The fact that he just ended up confined in this like little pocket dimension. Oh yeah, it was the only thing that he had, that he was able to do to even like prevent himself from being eliminated, right? Because he basically, with all the funny business that he went through, he kind of just led to the dissolvement, the breakdown of like his entire universe. Bummer of a story, but it was very well done, right? It was like, it's just because it was a bummer doesn't mean it was bad, right? It was actually done very well, and it was very interesting and very captivating, right? It just kept you like hooked, like interested the whole time. Definitely like up there as far as all these other ones. I'm giving it an S. Episode 5 is the zombie episode, right? So I really like this, right? I think this was the one that probably was like, I think it's safe to say that most people, that people were most hyped for, as far as like before the series even started, right? When we just got like the promo stuff, the commercials, and we got little glimpses of the fact that they were gonna do zombie Marvel zombies. I really liked it. I think the only bad thing I could say is that I wish there was more, right? I wish that it was like, it had the opportunity to breathe more, because it did really feel like it was like an entire like zombie movie, and they had to condense it down to like however long that episode was, like 25 to like 30 minutes, right? So a lot of stuff was like it was very fast paced, very much an accelerated like version of like what you would get in a zombie movie. um and yeah, I just wish like this concept had like more room to breathe. I would have liked to see like a lot more from it. I would like to see a continuation of it. I've heard of, from what I've seen actually, that I believe it's the somebody, I don't know if it was the head writer or somebody involved with the What If series, made comments about like what's going to be shown in the second season, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be continuing anything that was shown in this first season. It seems like it's going to be very much its own separate deal. That kind of kills the possibility of there being a sequel to this. But man, I really wanted to see like a second part to this, where like Thor comes back to the Earth and like he finds like everyone's like zombified, and he has to help the survivors, T'Challa and Spider-Man, take on Thanos, and like just kind of trying to work towards a cure to get out to everyone. I want more. I want more Marvel zombies, right? So yeah, it's a shame. Because of that feeling that it was done like very quickly. I can't put it S tier, right? So I am gonna put it A though, because I did very much enjoy it. I was kind of confused, like the whole deal with Vision. All right, you know what confused me the most about Vision being there is like the fact that he very quickly, and again, I think this is just an effect of the fact that like they just needed to like, they didn't have time to like kind of give each separate aspect like its own like moment or time to kind of like sink in. But the fact that like we meet him, right? He's introduced, we learn what he's doing very quickly. We learn what he's doing by keeping Wanda captive and kind of keeping her at bay. And then very quickly, once Wanda's out and like all madness starts to break loose, he comes to like this realization that he kind of fucked up, and then he just offs himself, right? Like right on the spot right there. It's like, okay, like you could have like helped out maybe, and then maybe offed yourself. Like Vision is pretty powerful, you know, like it just seemed weird. That seemed weird, but I think that's just, it all has to do with like speeding up the whole thing. Killmonger. So this one was again a bit of a bummer, right? Not as big of a bummer as you know, the Doctor Strange one or the Zombies one, where everything's basically, the world is just ruined. But a bit of a bummer in the sense that Killmonger just offs a lot of our you know, loved heroes, right? He offs Iron Man, he offs Black Panther. Yeah, man, he's going to town, and he's really making his name known, right? Just Killmongering everyone out there, everyone and everyone. It was interesting because I never expected an episode like this. What I liked about this, you know what I liked? That it was very smart. It was very smart about the way like that Killmonger kind of like was able to manipulate everything and kind of like make everything seem like it wasn't, right? It was kind of able to, just basically bend everything to its will for him to come to for it to get to the final moment where he finally became the Black Panther, right? His suit is really cool too, right? That black and gold, very cool suit. What I didn't like the way that it ended, man. I felt like it ended like very abruptly. Not abruptly. Well, yeah, actually abruptly, yeah, because I didn't expect it to end there. I thought it was gonna like continue and just like having Shuri there talking with Pepper, saying like, okay, here's what we're gonna do, and then credits. And it's like, wait, what? What do you mean? What are you gonna do? Like, end the episode, like, or end the story, like, finish it off. Granted, this was before we knew like what was gonna happen at the end of this series, but still, yeah, it's just very abrupt. Didn't like that. But everything else was yeah, man, it was solid. Yeah, I'd say it was solid overall. I think I could put it at, we can give it an A, like right up there with the zombies episode. I want to give it an S, just because I think because of the ending, right? It wasn't like as much of a complete story as these other ones. It did feel like there was very much like a part 2 that needed to be delivered. So we're giving it an A. Episode 7, Party Thor. This episode was a lot of fun. I liked it. I liked very much the fight between Captain Marvel and Thor. It was very cool to see that played out. The whole kind of like Looney Tunes shenanigans at the end was like, oh no, mom's coming, we gotta clean everything up, and everyone's like, oh, that's on you, bro. It's like, no, guys, please help me. Like, really, she'll kill me if she finds out. I thought that was hilarious, man. And like the fact that I had to go like all over the world, like just a bunch of stuff that they screwed up, like the Statue of Liberty, like the Eiffel Tower. It was, man, it was good. It was real good. If anything, I think I might have to like move everything down a spot just so I can put this in A, and then like everything else just below, because I did feel like this episode had like a little bit more than the rest. I don't know if I'd give it an S, or I could just put it in S tier. It was just so good. It was so funny. It was so lighthearted. And this is what, granted, I love the Doctor Strange episode, but this is what I had in mind when I thought of What If, you know? It was good. Was there anything that I didn't like about this episode? Not really. You get to see like the alternate version of Loki, like what he ended up being, actually having grown with his frost giant family. That was really cool to see as well. Darcy marrying Howard the Duck, man, it was good. It was just, yeah, it's too many good moments. I'm actually thinking about moving it up to S. Why don't I move it up to S? I can't think of anything bad about it. I'm putting it in S. Screw it. Putting it in S, and everything else, yeah, as it was. It deserves it. All right, episode 8. So this is when we kind of started to see that, you know, everything was gonna come to a culmination. I guess, I think that's the word. Yeah, everything was kind of, everything was gonna come together, right? But this one in particular was, what if Ultron won, right? In the second Avengers movie, right? What if he actually got the better hand of the Avengers, and how that would actually turn out. I thought the fight between him and the Watcher was cool. It was funny because I actually thought that when I saw it that this was the last episode to the season. So when it ended, I'm like, damn, this just proves that this series as a whole is just one entire bummer. Just like Ultron like beating out the Watcher like that, and just like, I'm pretty sure like the final shot is just like him over his like body, just laying on the floor there, like being victorious. I was like, oh damn, okay. This is how we're gonna end it on. Okay, I guess we'll pick it back up in season 2. There was that kind of an inconsistency, I guess we can say, right? Just the way that Ultron was able to just like beam swipe Thanos in half, right? Just to like, it just got rid of him like as if he were nothing, right? You would think, you know, if he was able to do that, Vision should have been able to do that, right? Like, geez, like, and it's always been like one of the, I say like one of the biggest or one of the weirdest things about Infinity War is that Vision is supposedly like a very strong character in, you know, the Marvel universe as a whole. And in Infinity War, he's just very much this like damsel in distress, right? And he needs everyone's like, oh, we gotta protect Vision, like Vision, like, come on, he can hold up his own, right? Like, I get like they're trying to avoid the Infinity Stone from being taken, but like, sheesh, like he can stand up, you know, he can fight, right? That movie just like made him look like a whole entire bitch. it's funny to think that maybe he was actually able to like just like get rid of Thanos as easy as that, as shooting just a laser beam like right through him to cut him in half. It's funny to think that maybe that he did have that capability, but he just never did it, and it just makes him look like even more of a bitch. So I'm thinking whether, as far as like fights, right? How does this compare to like other fights from other episodes? I think the fight that I liked the most was Thor versus Captain Marvel. Yeah, the Doctor Strange fights, that was okay. Then again, the fight in the very last episode, that was a good one too. That was a very much good one. Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna put the last episode over this episode. So I'm trying to think where I should put this one. I don't think, would I give the last one an S? What else was even shown in that episode? That episode also showed us like the, oh yeah, the like the end, kind of like the apocalyptic future, Black Widow in Hawkeye. I thought that was really cool too, and the way that they were just kind of like depending on each other and just trying to like do anything that they could possible to try to defeat Ultron. I thought that was really cool. Was that the episode? He did, right? Hawkeye actually ended up like sacrificing himself in that episode, right? It was interesting actually. The idea that like the Watcher, like there came a moment, right, in which he saw something that actually like made him feel threatened, right? I'm sure like he had never ever had to experience anything like that, right? Because all he ever did was watch, right? Like the freak that he is. But nonetheless, now all of a sudden you got like this multiverse threat, right? This like omnipotent, like omniconscious Ultron that like, now that he's kind of like killed off as much as he could, he's kind of expanding his horizons and thinking like, oh, there's got to be other universes that I can destroy as well. And it's kind of interesting to see like the Watcher like actually like start to get nervous, right, as like Black Widow and Hawkeye are looking through the archives at that place to try to find Zola, and he's like there, you almost found it. He's like, no, keep looking. He's like, oh man, should I interfere? Like you actually like get that like that he plays off that nervousness well, right? And kind of the breath of relief that he does like once they actually do find it. He's like, oh yes, we're saved. And then Ultron starts kicking his ass. That was cool. The whole like, I liked the Clint like sacrificing himself, like the parallel to Endgame, right? Black Widow and Hawkeye, but instead of Black Widow, it was Hawkeye sacrificing himself. That was neat. But overall, I can't say that there was anything like too special, right? I feel like as far as the episodes that I have in S rank, there was like something special about it. They had like a particular essence to them. So I can't put this in S. I'm not even sure if I can put it in A. I'm going to put it in B and move these other ones down. Because I don't think... Actually, it might just be on the same level as the what if the Avengers get killed. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a good spot for it. So, we finally see that everything comes... That's just a placeholder for now. That everything comes to a culmination, and the Watcher starts going off to these different universes once he gets his ass beat by Ultron, to put together a team that will be able to kick his ass, right? And so he gets let's go in order. He gets Captain Carter from episode 1. He gets T'Challa Star-Lord from episode 2. He gets no one from episode 3. He gets the evil Doctor Strange from episode 4, which actually, which I thought initially was like, okay, that's kind of a weird choice, but then it as the episode went on, you kind of got to see that he's not so much evil, which is why I put evil in quotation, air quotes earlier. It's not so much evil, right? Just misunderstood, right? He was just willing to do anything that he could to like get back someone that he truly cared about. And he just ended up a monster, and he ended up destroying the universe, right? So, misunderstood. No one from the zombie universe. He got Killmonger Black Panther from episode 6, which was another weird choice, but okay. And then he got Party Thor, which was a weird choice also, because you got to think that there's like other, like, I'm sure there's like other universes where like Thor is just as strong, if not even stronger. But it turns out that there's like a particular trait that actually played out for him being there. So, oh, in addition to all these heroes that he got from these episodes that we'd seen, there was actually one additional hero from an episode that we didn't see, right? So it actually turns out that it was an episode that was supposed to be aired along with all these others, but due to restrictions, due to COVID, yeah, they had to scrap it, or maybe it might be possibly come out for the second season. But yeah, it was an episode in which Gamora was, I believe, sent to kill Tony Stark, and somehow they ended up on Sakaar, and he made like an Iron Man suit out of like stuff from Sakaar, and she ended up killing Thanos. So you see her with Thanos' armor and his weapon, like that, the double-bladed sword. So Gamora from that universe was plucked to help out as well. When this happened, I was like, so like, what the heck? Like, well, Gamora, like, what is this even? What's happening? Like, why? But yeah, it wasn't. Later found out what was the deal with that, and it's a shame. It's a shame we couldn't get that episode, but it is what it is. Regardless, the Watcher has put together his team that he knows for a fact will get him the W over Ultron. And yeah, it actually turns out that, you know, even those like doubtful choices like the evil Killmonger and like the Party Thor, they had like the certain attributes that he sees, because he's the Watcher. He sees all, and he sees that these attributes are going to come in handy, right? The fact that Party Thor is like can't contain himself, right? And he was the one who called attention to Ultron to come to them to like start the fight, right? I'm sure he intended for that. The fact that Killmonger at the very end obviously like betrayed everyone, right, and started a fight with Ultron, and basically the ending, the solution to that was kind of just putting them in a little box and, you know, keeping those two to the side, which was, yeah, I mean, that's one way to solve your problems. Yeah, sure. So yeah, it was very interesting. It was very cool, right? Kind of just to see, because I wasn't expecting it, right? There were people saying that, you know, everything that's happening is gonna come to like a kind of moment where it all comes together. And I didn't think it was gonna happen. I thought it was gonna very much just like stick to the anthology like format that they were going with, and like each separate universe had its own different story. But there was a bit of doubt in the sense to where you had the Watcher like constantly, as the episodes went by, you constantly see him like doubting more and more, saying like, oh, should I intervene, kind of like foreshadowing to the point where like, okay, like something's gonna happen, like he's gonna do something's gonna happen to him. But even so, I never expected it would be like on this scale, where it would just be like everything, like everybody comes together like this. So it was really cool. It was really cool to see the Guardians of the Multiverse, right? The action itself was really cool. I very much got like Avenger Endgame vibes when they were like all going up against Ultron. We got Cap and Black Widow throwing their shields at him. Thor and Star-Lord and Doctor Strange hitting him with everything that they got. Doctor Strange, the MVP, man, like the one covering everyone up with protection spells and hitting him, invoking like a lot of like the beasts and monsters that he had to that he had to suck up to get his powers. So that was the actual like fight against Ultron itself was really cool. So I would definitely put it above episode 8. Just the fact that like the kind of like epicness of it all, right? Everything, all these characters coming together, one last giant fight, you know, it worked. It just worked for me, yeah. And the way they capped it all off as well. I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool. So we're giving it A rank. I'm wondering about the Killmonger episode, if I should move it down. I don't know if there's anything like, maybe I should put in B and everything else below. What did I like from the Killmonger episode again? I liked the fight scene at the end. I liked a lot of the fact that we spend like a lot of time with like Wakanda and stuff like that. Let's do this. I think that's good. Yeah, because you know what? Episode 3 didn't have like any like big like epic fight scenes like that. And the one thing that episode 3 kind of had going for it was the fact that it was kind of like a mystery, right? Like the everyone like trying to figure out like who was the one like killing off the Avengers, right? And it could have played off as like a interesting like mystery episode where it gives you kind of like little like clues along the way, but because of like again like a lot of the things having to do with these episodes being so condensed, like because they are just like singular episodes, you're telling like whole entire stories in a singular episode. It did feel like rushed, right? I feel like it could have been better if we did have the opportunity to spend more time with that possible with that universe, and slowly all the Avengers being picked off and like little clues being left so that the viewer himself, the viewer itself can actually kind of guess along the way, like, oh, could it be this? Could it be this person? Yeah, because of the kind of the nature of the series overall, there wasn't much of a chance to do that, right? To take advantage of that, right? So that was kind of like a dropped ball, I feel. So I think this is good. I think I like this. I think this is it. This is the final, right? So we got our S rank episodes: T'Challa, Star-Lord, Doctor Strange, Party Thor, A rank, Zombies, and the finale, B rank, Ultron wins, Killmonger, C, What If All the Avengers Are Dead, and D, Captain Britain. Wow, crazy to think. They really didn't start off the series strong, did they?